Good morning, community. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening Canning Recipes, a little bit of everything. We are very, very dry, guys. We have not gotten hardly any rain, certainly none, in the last couple of weeks, and we are getting down into the lower 60s at night, which is extraordinarily nice with these cool temps in the morning to get things done. But I have to get out here early in the morning to get things done, and I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to show you just how dry we are. So they graded our road about 7 or 8 weeks ago, and we have been dealing with caliche dust. Every time somebody drives up and down this road, man, it just flies, and you saw from those videos just how thick and dusty it can get. So I've been spending my mornings when I'm off from work coming out here and hosing off our trees, especially in front of the house, to try to get that dust off, and watering all of our land as much as I can. But that dust can kill your trees, and it can kill your plants. It is that old road-based caliche dust, and it has been extremely heavy. Not only is it coating our plants out here and our plants, some of our plants in our high tunnel, they do have a little bit more protection, but because it's so hot, we have to keep the sides open, so it does drift in there. And also, it's getting in our house. So Thursday, they did go ahead and spray some oil on it to try to beat it down, and I think Monday and Tuesday is when they're going to finish it. The oily residue presents another challenge. Now, it's okay in the mornings because we are getting cool enough to where it will kind of harden up a little bit, but during the day we are getting up into the upper 80s, and so it starts to melt again and heat up, and it will get all over your car. And the only way to get that stuff off of your car is to use WD-40 on the bottom, which is not my favorite, but it's the only thing that will break that stuff up. So my cabbage is coming along pretty good. You can see we're getting some insect damage. We're not sure if those are army worms, but they are definitely a chewer. So Greg has been out here treating them, I think probably with some BT, but we're starting to see some grasshopper damage on some of our stuff. So I need to keep thinning these out, and what I'm doing is I'm pulling some of these and going ahead and replanting them so that I have better odds at getting a good harvest. It's important to keep your fall plants moist right now because here in Texas we are extraordinarily dry, but I think overall they're looking pretty good. My radishes are looking really good in this raised bed up here in front, and you can see where I've transplanted some of those thinning. See, here's some damage right here. Some of those thinned out cabbage plants in this raised bed here. I still have some more over there, so if these don't make it, I will transplant again to try to keep getting me a harvest. And then in the raised bed here where I had my sweet potatoes, I went ahead and seeded out some carrots because I want to keep something planted in this bed, and you can see they're starting to come up. We have our compost pile cooking away, and Greg added our old tomato plants in here because your compost needs some green, it needs some foliage to keep it cooking. We also add a little bit of chicken manure in there, and you can see over here where Greg has cleaned out all of the tomato plants, getting ready for the spring planting, which will be here before you know it. You all may remember that just a couple of weeks ago I was showing you how green we were, but here's what we're dealing with now. The ground is starting to crack, and it doesn't matter how much I put that sprinkler out, it is still turning brown. Now, some of this is starting to go dormant because of the cool nights, but overall, this is due to lack of rain. I got the sprinkler out there right now, and I'm fixing to move it closer to the fence because we are under a burn ban, and we want to be very careful because if that field over there catches on fire, we don't want it coming on over to our property. Of course, we've got our beautiful pop that we have to be concerned about and make sure things are damp around his house. But you can see things are looking quite brown. So I've gone ahead and moved that sprinkler over a little bit so it'd get along that fence line. Greg has been doing really good about getting it cleaned up. And we think that, and we hope that he'll have it cleaned up here in the next couple of weeks. But we got to keep things wet here, guys, because it is dangerously dry. So going into the winter months is never fun when it's dry like this, because we do tend to get some strong north winds that dry things up. And in Texas, we really don't have a fall foliage season. We go from green to brown pretty quick. And October is supposed to be the wettest month of the year for us. And it doesn't look like we're starting out quite well. Now, there were a couple of channels saying that we were going to get down into the 40s next weekend and have a good chance of rain. And yeah, I don't think that that's going to happen, and I'm kind of disappointed. I know that long-term forecasts are not anything you can count on, but you know, I don't like them to get my hopes up either, saying that we might get significant rain and significantly cooler temps. We want the cooler temps. In fact, I'm looking forward to some cold temps. Our summers are just so draining here on the farm here in Texas, because once we get into July and August, it just gets stifling hot. But we need the rain. We need the October rain that we normally get, because we cannot go into a dry winter. We get those high north winds, and this old grass out here and these trees become just like a tinderbox. And that is very concerning. And if you've been watching me for any significant amount of time, you know that that happens to us at least once a year at some time during the year. And it's always concerning. In the little high tunnel, we still have things that are thriving. Many of our pepper plants. So this is a habanero, and you can see these are coming in quite well. We have some serranos in here. We have some jalapenos. We have some chili peppers, or cayenne, I'm sorry. You can see over there, I've got a couple of red bells that I need to get picked. We have some yellow bells I need to get picked. But our peppers have done, there's some banana peppers right there. Our peppers have done really well this year in the high tunnel. So we're very pleased with the plants. Let me show you some of these chilies, which a lot of you buy hatch green chilies this time of year. Well, we grow our own Anaheims, and which that is what hatch green chilies are. They are Anaheim peppers grown in Hatch, New Mexico. But let's see here. Give you some good looks at some of these. So we love our chilies, and here's some of our banana peppers. Here's more of our banana peppers. We're gonna have to get out here and pick these sometime today or tomorrow morning. We still have to do things early in the morning, guys, not just because of the dust floating around in the afternoons when people drive by, but also because of the heat. These high tunnels get quite warm in the afternoon. As you know, here's some of these little serrano peppers right here. Beautiful, beautiful. Before I picked my sweet potatoes, I did go ahead and cut some of the vines off, and I planted them in here because I think I can keep them safe over the winter. Now what will happen is, if it looks like we're going to get a really hard freeze where it's going to become ambient inside this little high tunnel, I'll cut these down at the base, at the root, and hopefully they'll come back and give me some nice sweet potato slips for the early spring. So we have some bells over here, and these are our I believe they're almas, but these are paprika peppers, and we picked these out. We picked these. Greg smokes them on the grill, and then we put them in the freeze dryer and dry them and make our own smoked paprika powder. Sage is one of our favorite plants, especially this time of the year, folks. Oh, that smells so good, because this, oh, when I smell that, it reminds me of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And this is what people use for their sausage making, but also in their stuffing. We have very large rosemary plants. I just can't get over our rosemary. And then we have here some beautiful oregano. This is Greek oregano that somebody gave us. Oh, it smells so good. And we freeze dry this and make our own oregano leaf for our cooking. So we got a lot of culinary herbs in this little high tunnel that we really enjoy, especially when I get to cook on the weekends and I'm off from work. We had a couple of eggplants that rebounded. They are looking quite beautiful in this little high tunnel. We got quite a few buds. I'm looking forward to seeing what we get from this. And then we have our thyme here. So thyme has done quite well. We probably need to clip some of this back and go ahead and pop this in the freeze dryer for our fresh herbs. And then parsley is making a really strong comeback with these cooler nights. So I popped some little German yellow or white potatoes in the ground in this raised bed probably about 6 or 8 weeks ago, because I wanted to try to get another harvest of potatoes. Not only get a harvest of potatoes for us, but also some seed potatoes to plant probably in January, so that I will have another harvest of these potatoes or these taters in the spring. And they look like they're doing pretty darn good. You can see we have quite a bit of firewood left over from last year. We bought a cord last year and had some left over from the year before. And because we didn't have to use any of it last year. I think maybe we had 1 week or 2 of cold weather where we could have used it if we wanted to, but it wasn't necessary. So I think we're pretty much prepared for this winter in case some of the predictions that they're talking about in January and February, since we are in a La Nina pattern right now, they're saying that we may have another heavy winter storm around January or February. Well, we're quite ready for it if we do. But we're as prepared as we can be, guys. But I wanted to show you around what was going on here at the farm, what's still growing, just how dry we are. Pray for rain. And we will be in touch. Love you all. Thank you for stopping by the channel. If you're new, we ask that you subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, guys. Give us a thumbs up. It helps promote our channel. Love you all. See you soon.